Good afternoon. I've got some good questions today from Facebook, so let's answer them. I'll read the first bit. I have problems exploring my multifaceted being. I have trouble setting goals. I'm suffering from inertia. What should I do? Okay, so there's many ways we can pursue this. Number one, a lack of motivation is only one of many symptoms for depression. So if you're concerned that you may be depressed, then by all means see a psychiatrist or a osteopath or a acupuncturist. These people could help. On the other hand, just because we are lacking motivation does not necessarily mean that we are depressed. So here's a quick trick. Where is my mala? Here it is. So this is a mala. It's a Buddhist rosary. I don't use it to count prayers. I use it as a Bronze Age abacus. If you count your mala using your pinky as a pulley and using your thumb to pull the beads on it, this can have a very tonifying, energetic effect. At least that has been my experience. So if you enjoyed chanting the 6-syllable mantra, you could chant it while counting your mala. If you prefer silent meditation, on the out breath, you could notice what's going on externally or internally while mentally, silently reciting the word this. And on the in breath, you could relax as best you can as you mentally and silently recite the word ease. So that is very energizing. And if you did that for a quarter mala, once to 3 times a day, that could get you fired up. Now, let's take a radically different approach to this. According to both Patrul's meditation manual as well as Lao Tzu's philosophical treatise, chasing after goals is not always the solution. What these two meditators recommended, more importantly, was to meditate regularly so you could be centered. And from the centered space, cultivate spontaneity. So let's pretend there's 2 types of spontaneity. The spontaneity when we're scattered. You know, the kind that says, I've had my 3rd cappuccino, let's clean everything! So that's scattered spontaneity. And then collected spontaneity, or centered spontaneity would be, let's say you've meditated for an hour. And as you get up from meditation, a thought occurs to you. And then you follow that thought. Now, if it's a good meditation, the thought's not going to be destructive. It's not going to be, I need to find a stranger and kick him in the shins. That seldom ends well. So, according to Lao Tzu, according to Patrul Rinpoche, great philosophers who I enjoy their works, they recommend a simple lifestyle where we cultivate a centered spontaneity. I'll paraphrase the Tao Te Ching. The only way for your life to be meaningful is for your life to be lived by the Tao. There are times, let's pretend there are various momentums in our bodies, in our minds, in our life. And if we can flow with a positive, loving momentum, life tends to work better. Now, a positive, loving momentum is not desperation, it's not fear, it's not, craving. It's not like, if I don't get those tickets, I'll die. That is not centered flowing. That's scatteredness. So let me check the email again. I do see options, I do have desires, but I also see their shortcomings and cannot commit to pursuing them. Okay, so right there. I may be wrong, but I think it was Confucius who said, and I'm going to paraphrase terribly, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. If you flow from a place of spontaneity, it's not work, it's play. Kids play all day. And the greatest creative geniuses, sustainable creative geniuses, had a play lifestyle. Well, they created fantastic things, but they never experienced it as work. Now, this isn't psychology. This isn't lies you tell yourself to feel better. It's centered and flowing. Let's see. I try to explore spirituality, but without succeeding to astral travel or to develop psychic skills. And even succeeding, maybe I do not need them to get away. Okay, so this gentleman English is his second language, but we get his basic idea. There was a time in my life, and I was much younger, when I would chase magical attainments. I wanted to be a Jedi Knight. These are not the drones you're looking for. So I'm right there with him. I wanted to astral project and dominate people psychically, and all that kind of stuff. And I pursued that for many years, and each time I was kind of like, well, this is lame. Even if I, would receive a modicum of success pursuing metaphysical sleight of hand, it was just parlor tricks. It wasn't giving me peace. It wasn't giving me love. It wasn't giving me joy. It wasn't giving me wisdom. The scholars, the contemplatives, the philosophers who I value the most stressed 6 things: mindfulness, insight, loving kindness, compassion, patience, and centered spontaneity. It's my view at this time that those are the secrets to a happy, fulfilling life. The people I've met who experience the greatest spontaneous success do so because of then the inner work of noticing and letting go. And the more they do that, and we call that meditation, the more they do that, the more blessings, the more good fortune they can seem to handle, the more creativity they receive. They don't have to find people to help them. People come to them in a really wonderful, beautiful, serendipitous way. Now, this could be bullshit, but I think it can be a rather empowering idea. Let's face it, my friends, Earth has a 100% mortality rate. None of us is getting out of here alive. The person with the most toys still dies. And don't get me wrong, money's great. It buys shelter and food and clothing and medical care and transportation and all that kind of good stuff. But also in the Tao Te Ching, we're warned that chasing after things, even good things, makes our heart clench. Now, we're not talking literally, we're not talking anatomically, we're talking metaphorically. I don't want to be that way, and I suspect you do not wish to be that way either. So let's carve room in our schedule at least twice a day to sit quietly, to notice during the out-breath what's going on, to relax during the in-breath. Let's do that twice a day, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Build up to 60 minutes. It's doable. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Below the video is a button that reads "Show More." It'll reveal a bunch of free resources perhaps you'll enjoy. Bye-bye now.